Hi, just a short, I hope a short extra video today. Um, it's about the table of deaths published by the Thirlwall Inquiry. And okay, I'm going to show it. I've combined the different tables here, which Thirlwall has put separately spread over a number of pages. Um, Here are the deaths, baby A to baby I. So that's 2015, and here's another December 15 death, and some 2016. Then there's a separate table with the deaths of babies who were born at Countess of Chester but transferred out of the hospital and who died elsewhere. And here's the table, fourth table, with the one further death, which is simply a death of a baby in the labour suite, so before reaching the neonatal unit. And congenital abnormalities, death was expected, no post-mortem. Right. Now, these tables tell us an awful lot, especially after we rearrange it, which I've done here, and that we don't need to see my face really, but I'll see if it can sort of stay there. Yeah. I've with help of others, got out the information, put it into a spreadsheet with babies ordered by date of death, as far as we know, because, for instance, there is October 2015 and 23rd of October 2015, and I don't know which one was before the other. February 2016, February 2016, 20th of February 2016. So babies who died elsewhere, we know the month, but not the day. It's not relevant, but I just point out that there's a lot of little anomalies in this data. Data it is. To begin with, notice, now I've marked with a yellow mark here. Well, you can see the babies who enter into the trial, the convictions, especially because these are deaths. A, C, D, and E, they're allegedly died, murdered by Lucy Letby, allegedly convicted of. And here are the means: air embolism, air via nasogastric tube, so on and so forth. So here's baby I. Then there's a strange gap, including the labour ward baby. I seem to have lost the date. That was in February 2016. I don't know why that got erased by accident. Sorry about that. I've lost a little bit of the information here, but it's the baby who died on the labour ward, and the death was expected, and it had congenital abnormalities. Okay, baby K died off the unit, but died through allegedly action of Lucy Letby. Right, so the baby was transferred. Baby K was transferred out of Countess of Chester and died a few days later elsewhere, and it was a murder. It's been noted by Thirlwall as a murder by Lucy Letby. Now, what I want you to notice, especially, I want you to notice the yellow ones, and the ones marked yellow, and these are deaths of babies which are, as far as anybody can tell, not murders. And if you actually look at the causes of death according to post-mortem, if there was a post-mortem, there are all kinds of really horrible reasons. Multi-organ failure, no post-mortem, and this was a baby who was transferred out of Countess of Chester and died elsewhere. And irrelevant. Thirlwall said the time of death is irrelevant. Okay, for us, that is irrelevant indeed. One should notice the causes of death of the deaths which seem to be natural deaths because nobody has been investigated for causing them. Sepsis and pneumonia, no post-mortem even. The baby died off the unit, but it was transferred out of Countess of Chester, died elsewhere. And death certificate, I suppose, records sepsis and pneumonia, and a post-mortem was not carried out. So there's a whole load of deaths which appear to be natural deaths, and they moreover appear to be natural deaths of babies with very, very severe problems, whose deaths are very unsurprising, let me say it that way. Very sad, but presumably problems of congenital abnormalities and possibly other severe issues, maybe prematurity, of course. Now, so here we have A, C, D, E, and then there are 3 apparently natural deaths. Baby I, then there are apparently 5 natural deaths, and then baby K, and then apparently 1 natural death. And especially I want you to notice from here, September 2015 down to March 2016. Right, how many months is that? That's 6 months. 6 months. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 deaths, most of them on the unit even. That's 1 death a month. In half a year, in the middle of the time that Lucy Letby is allegedly killing babies, and indeed has been convicted of killing them. Now, I wish to conclude that in 2015 to 2016, in a big portion of that period, there was certainly up to the time, up to mid 2016, when of course the unit was degraded to level 1. So the Thirlwall says there were no deaths in the second half of 2016, but it was a level 1 unit in the second half of 2016. So the interesting part is up to June, and we see that in 6 months in that period, there were 6 deaths, at least, if not, what did I say? Yeah, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 deaths. Okay, 1 on the one was in the labour unit, 2 were off the unit, so after transfer out. But let's say there were 1 natural death a month for 6 months in the middle of the, what we could call the indictment period. Now, in February of 2017, Brearey and Jayaram went to the police. They finally got to the police, and one of the things they told the kindly police inspector was that normally on their unit there were only 2 or 3 deaths a year. And indeed, in the previous years, you can look back in the numbers, there are 2 or 3 deaths a year. And of course, from July 2016, there are also on average 2 or 3 deaths a year. The unit is a level 1 unit, is just not taking on extremely high acuity babies. The point I want to make is that I don't know the exact words which Brearey and Jayaram told, but they were words which also came into the court proceedings, which everyone knew. Normally, we only have 2 or 3 deaths a year. And Brearey and Jayaram made sure that the nice police inspector understood, imagined that also applied to 2015 as far as the acuity of the babies were concerned. Right? They suggested to the police that 2015 and first half of 2016 should have been expected to be completely normal, 2 or 3 deaths a year. We know that Brearey actually first got the idea that there was a killer on the ward when there was this cluster of 3 deaths from 8th to the 22nd in 2 weeks. 2 weeks in June. 3 deaths in 2 weeks in June. This shocked him, and junior doctors were talking about nurse death because Lucy had been there every time. That was when he got the idea there was a killer nurse on the unit, and the killer nurse was Lucy. And from then on, he tabled all the bad events which happened when Lucy was there. So these yellow ones are definitely bad events, and I don't know whether or not Lucy was there, but he didn't put them on his list. And similarly, all these. But let me repeat the point I want to make. Certainly Brearey, who collected the neonatal mortality statistics and sent them off to Embrace UK, so on and so forth. He was the lead neonatologist, even though not a neonatologist. He was the lead for neonatology, and he collected the data of deaths. And he, let me say, should bloody well have known that there were half a dozen neonatal deaths, natural ones, in half a year in the middle of the indictment period. But he and Jayaram made sure that the police imagined that there should only have been 2 or 3. They were always, not always expected, but always explainable. And there shouldn't have been more than 2 or 3 a year. Yet, there was this patch of 1 a month. I find this very, very shocking, and I try to, I keep saying it, because people don't seem to quite notice. But that 2 or 3 deaths a year, that was a big thing in the trial. That was a big thing in the newspapers. That everybody remembered that. That was told to the police at the first meeting with the police, of the specialists with the police. That stuck in the police's ears. That 2 or 3 per year, together with the huge number of deaths in June, these 12 months from June 2015 to June 2016, June 2015 to June 2016, a bit more than 12 months. There was definitely a huge number of deaths at the Countess of Chester then. But Brearey must have known that most of them were definitely natural. That means he must have known that there was very high acuity of cases coming to Chester, babies being born at Chester in the indictment period, and this was not told to the police. The police were made to understand the opposite. The police were misled right at the beginning of their investigation by Drs. Brearey and Jayaram, in my opinion. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.